Okay, what's this thing? The gamer? Star Citizen is barely playable, but after trying it for a week, I'm sold, says David Duffy. Okay, folks, if you enjoy the content of the channel, by all means do subscribe. I do mostly Star Citizen lately. I do other video games. I don't have a whole lot of time, but yeah, anything that is entertainment. I need to do a couple movie reviews. I've seen some good ones lately, and I'm a little bit behind on that, but that's the channel. That's what we do here, and certainly bring a level of honesty that is very much lacking in the Star Citizen community. If you enjoy all of that, be my guest, subscribe. If you want to play Star Citizen, be my guest as well. You have my referral there below. So what is it that we have here? Well, this seems to be is this a paid ad? I haven't read it yet. I'll read it along with you. I saw this from the gamer.com website. I saw the title that says Star Citizen is barely playable, which we agree, but after trying it for a week, I'm sold. You've never played before, and you've only played 4.0 for the last week, and now you're sold. You're lying. That is impossible. No one in his right mind can enjoy the first week of 4.0 because it wasn't playable. That's my take. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's read this and see if after reading it, it makes more sense. Yeah, keep in mind that this stuff of reading and actually writing, that's what I actually do. Those are my books there behind. I write about survival and preparedness. That's actually what my other channels are about. If you want to go check out, you will have that in the links too. Just mentioning it in case you're wondering where I'm coming from. So I do know a little bit about reading and understanding, even though English is obviously not my first language. Reading comprehension, not something I'm missing. So Star Citizen is a curious game, okay? Led by Wing Commander, creator Chris Roberts, is both one of the most ambitious games ever conceived and the most expensive thanks to its crowdfunding development. As I write this, nearly 5.5 million people have plunged over 750 million into bringing it to life, and yet 12 years on from first play, it remains in an alpha state. Okay. Yeah, about how ambitious it is, there's a lot of talking about the ambition, and then there's the actually delivering, which it is not. No Man's Sky, which is my other space game. I need to get into Elite Dangerous, Expo, a bunch of other games that people mention all the time, but No Man's Sky, that's a fucking ambitious game. That's a game that actually is noticeable, the ambition. You can perceive with each patch, each one they drop, that God damn it, they're striving for more. They really want to make things more awesome. And they often do. That's not the case here. We have Pyro, which is very underwhelming. You have a new system after 13 years that is basically a giant copy-paste of a bunch of planets and locations. 3 starting locations that are all exactly the same. That is not ambitious, man. Let's just put the figures into perspective. Okay, so the money stuff, all right. So why have this many people bought into Star Citizen? I've always been intrigued, but had never taken the plunge. All right. I absolutely adore one of the games. It seems to get compared to a lot, No Man's Sky. I do adore No Man's Sky too. It is insulting to compare the people behind No Man's Sky. Sean Murray, genius, right? That guy loves his game, and it shows. You can tell he loves his game. You can tell he believes in it. He's not looking at getting the money and running with it. No, he is putting it all in that game, right? That's what he's going for. He's not looking at, okay, how can I monetize these dumb idiots that trust me? No, that's not what he's doing. He's making a fucking incredible game where you can actually go to systems that no one has ever been before. In No Man's Sky, there's so many millions of systems that you can go. There's no way that you could possibly not only see them all, you will run out of time. The universe will end before you get to visit each system. That's why you visit new systems that are undiscovered all the time. Your name will be tagged there. You will see a system that you go and this was discovered by this dude. And that is pretty cool on itself. Oh, it's randomly generated? Sure, of course. But still, that is real exploration. So the genre is right up in my intergalactic streets. And this year has been my taste considerably. Nowadays, I'm looking primarily for games I can drop in and out rather casually. That is something I will agree with him. And it figures persistent universe I can explore and deliver packages in like a fancy FedEx pilot would be ideal. I have to give it to this dude, David Duffy. David Duffy is actually very, very right about what he's saying there. It is not a game that will demand much attention because there is none for you to put in. It hasn't got that depth. It is more like a tech demo than an alpha of a game that they're trying to finish. That's one of the big things that it is very controversial. Are they really trying to make any new content? Are they really trying to finish the game or not? Or is this more about selling ships in a tech demo where you can, yes, deliver boxes to the same place over and over, but that's kind of it. You're not even going to a new place. You're going to the same places over and over to develop them. I can explore and deliver packages in like a fancy space. That is it. If you want to be a guy that leaves home, he dresses up with a suit, you get into a spaceship, you actually have to click on freaking buttons for doing all of this, and physically take that box and deliver it, well, I don't think there's box delivery anymore. Now you're hauling cargo. There's no box delivery. I don't think I've seen recently any of that. And that's kind of missing anyway. Thanks to a free fly event as part of the in-game Intergalactic Expo, I could finally see what the fuzz was at not risk of my wallet, downloaded the game, created my character, and entered the universe. A tutorial helpfully offered. Oh, okay, so he hasn't been playing it now. He was playing it during the free fly event. Right, he hasn't been to 4.0. 4.0 is what I said about there's no way this is honest. That's because in this time frame, there's no way. 4.0, which is what everyone is playing, that's a new thing. And the old thing is broken too, so it is something that was written before the latest developments in the game. Okay, I take that back. I will assume that this was not a paid-for ad at this point. I will assume that. Benefit of doubt. A tutorial, download the game, a tutorial offer, show me, before all of that is terrible, before a bug meant I couldn't even complete the first task, using an elevator, reset, go again, more bugs, stuttering, gameplay, the onset of magnificent headaches. It is extremely hard to deal with all of that. It is that like all the time, and now it's even worse with 4.0. When the game froze, I mashed keys and somehow they led to me skipping the tutorial, never being able to return to it. Normally I'd giving up, but my curiosity was just too strong. I then spent an entire evening researching how to run Star Citizen more efficiently. That's a typical mistake. It is not you, it is them. To squeeze out as many frames as possible so I could walk from my starting dome to the Expo, how to configure its controls, and even how to set up voice commands and eye tracking. As I said, I'm an ambitious game. I'm very nearly bought a HOTAS. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Tempering my burgering impulses, I went to check out the Expo, fully released trade show when the various manufacturers park their spaceships in a giant hall for you to see and even rent for free. The ship on show changed every day, and getting to board them was just served to increase my interest. Clever ploy, and I've gone to spend countless hours watching reviews, videos for pretty much every ship in the game. I made lists, as I always do when trying to decide things, and it sounds like it could be sort of his thing. I think I've fallen in love with the Origin 315P as my dream ship. The only problem is that it costs $60. Yeah, that is nothing. In this game, you have thousands. Remembering they haven't actually played the game at this point, I set up for the hangar. Star Citizen systems complicated across the board. Even getting to your ship is an event. It is a pain in the ass rather than an event with all of the train rides and all of that. Heard out to a spaceport, across ship for a terminal, wait for it to be retrieved elsewhere in the universe. Something that can take a good chunk of real time depending on where everything takes a giant chunk of your time. Another elevator and to your hangar. Right, so this is a long ass. Okay, no, it's not that long. Systems takeoff, leaving the hangar, actually flying have all been rendered nigh impossible by myriad of bugs, and often couldn't access it. It's also, there's a learning curve, which is a lot less now with master modes, but it used to be even more so. And it was very rewarding, which is something that a lot of us miss. I could stutter forward, enjoy the view of my frozen starter planet. That would be New Babbage before crashing when the game lags. Once I did manage to leave the planet and I made it to delivery pickup, but because I landed in a suboptimal position, I couldn't even get back on my ship to take a, that is very typical as well. Especially if you're used to No Man's Sky, where you just spawn inside. You don't worry about such things. I guess that's why there's an in-game suicide button. For me, I suspect for many others, running the best rig possible. The game is quite literally unplayable. You can't go. It's not about the rig, man. It is the game. It is that broken. You can't go on an hour without something going wrong. It can happen. It is very, very rare, especially now. Makes for a miserable time. If this was any other developer and any other game, there'd be such an outcry that the game would have been pulled by now. We've seen too many live services games meet the very fate over the last few years, but Star Citizen keeps ranking the dollars, with more than 20 million coming in November alone. And yet, despite having a far from ideal gaming, I'm not done with Star Citizen. Bugs have made me quite playing every single day of the event, but then I've gone, and the event is the best time it's been all year. They actually pay for proper servers during the event, so as we have a better experience. Now, it is a lot worse. There's no comparison how bad it is. That's why I was doubting him at first. When I came right back to the next day to try again, see ambition of it through reading many threads, watching many videos. That's the community. That's the Kool-Aid of the community. But most of all, just by being in the universe. It's a game that lets you play how you want. From delivery, the freedom of, and the mechanic of, you can do anything, right? Well, not really anything, but you have that feeling of freedom. There are games that are catching up, though, and that's probably going to change things very soon. It's a game that lets you play how you want, from delivery driver or space ambulance to pirate or fleet captain, and it's a universe I want to be in. Most of all, I see why people have spent so much money. Yeah, bad decisions. The real star of the citizen, carefully crafted works of art that somehow make you feel like you're making a big purchase, as we would feel buying. You know what? It is all about how great the marketing and sales team is. That's a big team in Star Citizen. Making the ships, and most of all, marketing, selling, promoting. That's what they're excelling at, not making the game, ironically enough. Your ship is your home, kind of, not just a tool for going pew-pew in space or dropping off some boxes. And that's the aspiration of trading up using in-game currency as opposed to real money, eventually landing something like the luxurious 890 jump. Nah, I mean, it's gonna be impossible for you now to buy it in game, and there's always things and stuff going on, and you can make. But unless you don't have a life, buying this in game, no, forget about it. I mean, if you really want to buy it, just you better off get a real job and make some real money and buy it with $1,000, which is what it costs. Because in terms of time spent, any other job in the real world is going to be faster. I haven't yet dropped any real money on a game package and Ship Plus. Okay, so he hasn't. Ship Plus game deal, need to play, but I know I will at some point. Whether that's when I am a better rig to play it or... Fuck. Finally got over the big purchase nerves is anyone's guess, but it will happen. Job done. Start Citizen. You don't need my 50, but you can have it anyway. My 50 quid. All right. I'll go with paid. I'll go with paid promotion. It is thegamer.com. It is a guy that says he hasn't even got a rig, and he had a bad experience with the game itself, and he was playing during the Expo. I mean, it could go either way. I don't know. But if I have to place my bet, yeah, some favors exchanged there. Some little bit of this and that. Or maybe I'm wrong. I honestly don't know. But that's a little bit of a whiff I'm getting here. And this is why people keep going for it. This is why some of us have been at it for a long time, because we read this at some point and we got hooked on the idea of what things could potentially one day be. But yeah, that's it, mostly, guys. The game is in a very bad place right now. It's gonna be up to you if you wanna buy your Avenger Titan. Still the Avenger Titan is at a promo for a discount right now, and still I think they have you have the event with a referral where you get the pulse, which is nice. I think it's worth it. After all the shit I throw, I think that's worth your $50 for an Avenger Titan, plus the pulse, plus all of the Luminalia gifts and the guns and paints and all of the stuff you can still get right now. If this was February, I would tell you wait for another event, before you jump in. Get a little bit of extra, get something extra. They don't give you much at all, so take advantage of little opportunities when they come along. That's it, guys. See you next time. Take care.